All right, everybody, we are live once again. It's another Tuesday night, and you've got the two of us, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On today's episode, we will talk about all of the National League teams and whether they will be buyers or sellers. We'll discuss Shohei Ohtani, the Chicago White Sox. Will soccer change the way American football is played? We will give love to Yordan Alvarez, and boy, does he deserve it. The Diamondbacks are actually number one in a huge statistic. We'll tell you what it is. LSU backs out of a commitment, plus two new things. We're going to do lights out trivia, and we're going to do a new intro if you haven't figured it out by this point. Ladies and gentlemen, it is me. It's Cheese. It's all of you. And it's time to do what only we know how to do best. And what is that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is lights out.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Tonight, we rewrite the rules. The countdown has begun. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Guys, I know if you were watching the main video up here, it didn't play the video for some reason. I don't know why. If you're with us on YouTube and you're watching that smaller version that looks better for your cell phone, I think it played it for you there. If you guys are watching that, let me know. We had the new intro. I don't know why it didn't do it. Technically challenged guy over here. I thought I had it. I had it 4 or 5 times before we did it. Today, I uploaded this thing really early. If you guys saw it on YouTube, I think that may have had something to do with it, but we will find out. All right. Already got one. Hello. Hello. We appreciate you tuning in to us. Thank you guys very much. Like I said, let us know in the comments if it did play it on one of the YouTube feeds. We'll look at that here.
Yeah, during that 10 seconds, excuse me. Yeah, with the music and whatever that noise was. Yeah, it sent me in the future. It was actually time portal music. And you won't believe, well, maybe you will. The Cleveland Browns, they're going to be bad for the next 20 years. So it's not going to get any better. It's the Cleveland Browns.
No, it's not. But that's all right. Hello, guys. We appreciate you stopping in and saying hi and hello, whichever one you want to do.
Hi, hello.
Most people probably wouldn't put this up on the screen, but it's okay. I know. It's fine. The only person that needs to like me is my wife. That's okay.
I hope it was you, not me they're talking about.
Well, I'm assuming they're talking about me.
It could be me too. I don't know.
It can't be you.
I don't know.
Of course the kids are allowed to watch the live stream.
Yeah, okay, I'll have to behave, but yeah, they can. If kids are watching, then I will make sure to not say certain words.
He says, I was talking to the other guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess I got a big forehead, but I got hair.
All right.
So the other guy. I guess I'm the other guy.
Okay. I guess so.
At least, yeah. But I'm the funny one, so that's okay.
Well, all right. If that's what we can go with, that's fine.
Hey, mister, I'm the funny one around here. Don't you forget that.
All right, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I won't forget. I won't forget. Okay. Well, this show is just going off the rails. We barely even started. We are not going to have the Colorado Rockies guy on because somebody mixed up time zone times. So we got all that confused. And then, the introduction that I thought I was doing right, I guess I was doing wrong. I don't know. But
I don't know, man.
we're going to have a great time. We got a bunch of great sports stuff to get to, both football and baseball. A couple of college nuggets for you. So I tell you what, Cheese, how you been, man? Let's go there. How you been this week, bud?
I've been swell. I've been swell. How have you been? Maybe not the best week for you, but it's okay. It's probably get better.
I'm glad I've got glasses on, I guess. So we're okay with that.
Pick on anybody in glasses. Okay. I guess just pick on me then.
Oh, no. And by far, we the kiddos can stay. They're going to learn some stuff from us today, and everything will be great.
Yeah, I'll have to change some of my notes. Let me get there and delete a few words in there. Okay.
All right. Just cross out a few things and release a couple more.
It's a very long hi. So
yes.
Hi.
Yes, it was. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in, joining in with us today on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. All right, buddy, let's explain the beginning. We always do this. It's the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. Cheese gets 5 minutes on a countdown timer. He gets 5 questions, and if he can get them correct, we'll give him a bonus 6th question to talk about. If not, he will burst into flames, and then I'll have to do the rest of the show by myself, which nobody wants.
And you'll lose the funny guy.
Right, you lose the funny guy with, I guess, the big forehead. But anyway, I can't believe they were talking about you and not me. I mean, look at this thing. Can you really even tell where the forehead ends and the hair begins?
They want me to cut bangs. They want me to have bangs. That's what they're saying. Okay. There we go. Like, look, here we go.
Oh, no. Stop right now. Just put that stop.
Instead of bullying kids, I'm the one that got bullied now if I change my hair.
I know a certain person who is she's going to be upset with me if you don't put that hair back. So I have to hear it from her. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's start the first question on the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5, Cheese. And then we'll put the countdown up when I complete the first question. You know what? Before we do that,
okay.
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right. There's the 5 Flamin' 5 music in the background, and here's the first question. Cheese. The Anaheim Angels finally did it. They finally won a game when trailing in the 9th inning. Before last night, they had gone 106-0. Does that say what the Angels are doing better? Or does that say something really bad about the Cardinals, who lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks, the final game when they were leading 7-0? Cheese, is it good for the Angels, or are the Cardinals falling apart?
There's nothing good for the Angels. The Cardinals bullpen's the problem. Cardinals bullpen has been a disaster recently, and even their closer, who was an all-star, Riley O'Brien, just didn't have anything hitting people. He didn't have a thing. The bullpen for the Cardinals has completely imploded. It wasn't a great bullpen anyway, but now it's a terrible bullpen, and any chance they have of making the postseason is probably gone because they just cannot. And they can't. And if they decide to sell, they don't really have any bullpen guys anyone wants. I mean, this is more about the Cardinals than anything. You can't lose a game. You lead 7-0. You can't. The bullpen just gave that game back. So it says more about the Cardinals, and it was supposed to be. We'll talk more about the Cardinals later in the show, but I think it says more about the Cardinals.
Okay. So, Cheese, last night, the Phillies beat the Dodgers and the Brewers beat the Mets. And that means the Brewers now have the best record in MLB. Does gaining it mean more for the Brewers, or does losing it mean more for the Dodgers?
No, winning it means more for the Brewers. The Dodgers don't really care. They basically rested pitchers last year, made sure they were 100% healthy. Like, we're going to make it anyway. And then so they were healthier in the postseason. So it means more to the Brewers. The regular season means everything to them because they can't do anything in the postseason. They always choke. So yeah, it means more to the Brewers.
All right, third question out of 5. According to multiple reports, Cheese, LSU has backed out of their home-and-home series with Arizona State. Why would a football program do this? Are they scared? Do they think there's a better matchup out there somewhere else? Or is it something else, Cheese?
So I could use 3 minutes talking about this. I have a lot to say. I know you probably do too. So maybe we'll circle back to this. But the main point I want to say is LSU is scared because they play an SEC schedule, which is very tough. And they had second thoughts because they could lose to Arizona State. Absolutely. And they would rather, this is my guess, I don't know for sure. I'm not, I'm not in Baton Rouge, but they want to schedule someone that they have like a 95% or higher chance of winning. And Arizona State, they don't. Arizona State, most years they're ranked. So it's a team you could definitely lose to. Probably won't, but you could. So I think that's why they backed out. They're like, we need to schedule someone easier because if we lose that game, they could cost us the playoff.
All right, we'll circle back to it here after the 5 Lemon 5 is done. But for question number 4, Cheese, Yordan Alvarez is hitting .294 with 15 home runs in 2 strike counts this season. The only other hitters to do this in a full season, which are getting to 15 home runs, would be Mike Piazza, Alex Rodriguez, and Albert Bell. Cheese, if you're starting an MLB franchise and you could draft any of these 4 players, knowing what you know now about them, which of the 4 players would you draft?
Yordan. I take Yordan. The guy can just hit. He's amazing. He's left-handed. I'm not taking A-Rod's the best player on the list, but he's a cheater. So I'm not taking A-Rod. Piazza, I'm not taking Piazza. And Albert Bell just seemed like an asshole. So a jerk. Sorry. Sorry. Like a person that I don't know.
1 for the kids. Just don't make it 2 or 3. All right.
Albert Bell, Albert Bell could, he could hit, but I'm taking Yordan. Of those 4, he's one of the best hitters in baseball. He's incredible.
All right, buddy. The last question here. ESPN has parted ways with Ryan Clark. Now, we all know how you feel about him for anybody who's watched this show, and rightfully so. So does this mean that you'll now watch more NFL content on ESPN?
No, it does not mean that. Because they got rid of Ryan Clark, but they also fired. This is what happens when they have mass firings. It always happens to ESPN because Disney doesn't know how to run any company. They're terribly run. And they went woke. They hired all these people. They were big on DEI, and they didn't hire the best people for the job. Like, no one should have hired Ryan Clark. Mina Kimes is still there. She didn't even get fired. Like, they hired people. What's that? Oh, I can't think of his name. He used to play a defensive lineman for the Cowboys. He's terrible too. Anyone in the comments knows what I'm talking about. But Marcus Spears, horrible. Like, no, because I could talk about this forever, but they still have so many terrible people. But Ryan Clark had to be fired.
All right, there we go. You got it again. Always, man. Just like always, you pull it out right there at the end, buddy. Okay, fantastic. We appreciate that. We got it. Now let's do the bonus question. And here it is. I think this is interesting. So, Joey Votto will make his broadcast debut this Sunday night in Philly as the Phillies take on the Yankees. Personally, Cheese, I would watch this game no matter who's playing just to hear his commentary. And my questions are, would you watch the game just to hear Joey's commentary? And secondly, can you think of any reason that you would watch or listen to a game of any sport other than the play or the players on the field?
I mean, I'm not going to watch just because of Joey Votto, but I mean, you're a Reds fan. You have a connection with him. Like, he's a fascinating player. Just because, I mean, he was a Cub killer as a Braves and Cubs fan, but he's just fascinating because he was one of the most efficient hitters I've ever seen. He almost never pulled the ball foul, which is impossible to do because he was so efficient. He just was, he's just such a disciplined, smart, efficient hitter. Like that's who you want to watch if you're like teaching like your kid to hit. Watch this approach. Watch the way he plays.
Right.
But I'm not gonna watch a broadcast just to listen to him. I've never watched a game for the broadcasters. My favorite duo in football all time is Pat Summerall and John Madden. But I was gonna watch the game anyway. I wouldn't just say like, I'm just watching it for them. So it's the players and the team. That's what I'm watching for. I don't watch for who's calling the game.
All right. So you don't watch it for like the halftime show at the Super Bowl or anything like that?
It's funny that you think I don't remember last time I watched a halftime.
No, I am not being serious whatsoever.
You think I watched Bruno Mars and Bad
well
Bunny? You think I watched Bruno Mars and Bad Bunny? I mean, come on.
I thought it was Janet Jackson was your girl, man. That's what I thought.
Oh, I remember that Super Bowl. It's been 20 years probably. I remember that Super Bowl. No, definitely not. It's about the game. I'm a sports fan. I'm not gonna watch it just because someone's calling it, and I'm definitely not gonna watch Phillies Yankees. Don't like either team.
All right, so there's 70.
Chattanooga Lookouts.
Yes, that is the AA team for the Cincinnati Reds.
I know you live in Chattanooga. Yes.
That's
Wow,
right.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah, the two of you might have been in the stands together watching Joey Votto from the Chattanooga Lookouts. You just never know.
Possibly. I don't think I was there for Joey Votto, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, we're switching stuff up here a little bit. We're not going to do the Colorado Rockies stuff. We're going to save that for next week. There was a mix up on time and all of that. So forgive me. That was my fault. It was certainly not gentleman from the Far End of the Bench podcast. We just added Far End of the Bench podcast to our roster of podcasts here on All Gloves Off Sports Media. It's Jimmy Pilato. We'll get to him next week. He will be on our trade deadline special next week to talk about the Colorado Rockies, and they're probably just going to sell off everything. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how they're run, their minor league system, and some things like that. We will also talk to Locked On Diamondbacks guy next week as well. So hopefully we're getting a few other guests to come on that show, but I know those two are definites for next week. All right.
Did you real quick before we go? Did you hear about the Athletics infielder against the Diamondbacks? The injury he sustained. I don't want to even say it on here.
Well, I know we're trying to be nice to the kids, but let's just say the ball popped up.
God. Go ahead.
Now that was yesterday's game, right?
Right. He's been put on the injured list for injuring that.
Mm. Well, he kept playing yesterday. He stayed in that game yesterday. I watched it.
It says that thing it's ruptured.
Yeah, he stayed down for a long time. Like he laid on the ground for quite some time. Then he got up, finished the at bat, actually got a hit into right field. So, like I said, I watched that game yesterday. I'm really surprised he's on the IL now. I'm a little shocked about that. His man parts there have been ruptured. So that's
I wouldn't wish that on anyone except Ryan Braun.
Well, maybe the guy that plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I can't.
Marcell Ozuna, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, well, we might wish on Marcell Ozuna too. Daggone it, he's supposed to. It's a kids show. Okay, so we'll stop that now. We mentioned it earlier, Cheese, about the firings at ESPN. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that for just a moment. So, who all was let go today? Do you know who all was let go today, Cheese?
Yeah, so they let obviously Ryan Clark go. Stefania Bell, who'd been there for a while, was basically a injury consultant, and then she joined the fantasy. She basically is doing fantasy football as well.
Okay.
They let Cam Newton go. That's good because he's terrible and he looked like a homeless man. Carl Ravitch, God, I always like watching him do baseball.
Me too.
33 years, but he's probably been there 33 years, making too much money. Bart Scott, probably one of the few people in NFL that was actually tolerable. A couple make me mad though. Tom Pelissero, he used to cover the Packers. That's how he got his start. Became a national person for NFL Network. When it merged with ESPN, let him go. He was like the only insider that I could tolerate that I actually did dislike. And then Charles Davis does great NFL draft stuff. Once again for NFL Network, it merged with ESPN. He would always do NFL draft, and he works for Fox, so he still has the Fox job. He calls games, but he's definitely one of the better TV draft analysts out there. So it's terrible. And the fact that Mina Kimes has a job. When they announced these firings, I went to X to see reaction. A lot of people are celebrating Ryan Clark's firing, but even more people are wondering how Mina Kimes, with her horrible, terrible takes. By the way, I found out today she's got me blocked. She blocked me. How she has work, I have no idea. Maybe because she's a woman, and she's, I guess she's Asian, and I guess they want to have some representation there. It's Disney. But it's been like a year. I used to troll her a lot with her terrible takes. And then because when you're on X, people you don't follow sometimes show up on the timeline, right? Mm-hmm. So she would show up, and I'd look at her takes, and I'd call her out for it because they were terrible. And so I hadn't seen her in like a year on Pop Up and X, and I found out why she blocked me. So there you go.
Well, I think that kind of means you're famous now, right? I mean, you got people blocking you. That gives you that famous spot, doesn't it?
I got more famous people than her that have blocked me, but I don't want to get into it. We can talk about that.
We said it's a kid's show today. Okay. Let's circle the wagons back around to something else we talked about there real quick in the Flamin' 5-5, and that's LSU and the fact that they pulled out of their home commitment with Arizona State. Talk about that a little bit. You said they're probably scared, but dive into that a little bit for me, Cheese.
So the SEC plays a very tough schedule. Texas is a good example. They scheduled Ohio State last year and lost. Okay. They scored 7 points. So, you score more points, but they lost 3 games and didn't get in the playoff. And their whiny little baby, Steve Sarkisian, coach, said he should have gotten in because we scheduled Ohio State. That's fine, but you lost. So what has happened is I think teams are like, okay, we could lose two games in the SEC and still get in. Look at Alabama. So we need to make sure those non-conference games, because the SEC is going to 9 conference games, 3 non-conference. Mm-hmm. We got to make sure we win those other 3 games. And Arizona State could definitely beat us. So that's what I'm thinking will happen. What do you think happened?
I mean, I'm pretty much right along the path with you. Arizona State has not always been a powerhouse. I don't know when exactly those games were scheduled. How long ago, because the college football season, they schedule their stuff so far in advance now.
Probably before Texas lost to Ohio State. Probably before then, yeah.
Okay. So that was back when, ASU was known as a decent team, but not a great team. Well, now they've kind of jumped over that threshold a little bit. They've joined the Big 12 since then. I'm not going to call ASU a powerhouse because that would be no. That's just no. We're not going to do that yet.
No, but they were in the college football playoff the year before last, and they usually are ranked. Like they're usually a pretty good team.
Yes, I mean I'll give you both of those, but I'm not going to put them on the same line as Georgia and Ohio State and all of that. So they're one of those teams that's a notch or maybe even a notch and a half down. But the last thing you want if you're LSU, right, is to play them and have that team that's a notch or a notch and a half down beat you.
Especially on the road, it could be an opening night game, in Mesa. Yeah, that I don't want to play that game, So, LSU might even only be a 3 or 4 point favorite, depending on how good they are. So, and Lane Kiffin probably when his schedule was not the coach, and you know how Lane Kiffin is. So, at Ole Miss, he never. Every once in a while, but for the most part, didn't necessarily schedule the toughest teams. So,
true.
So I'm guessing this could be Lane Kiffin, but I just think it's one of those teams you could definitely lose to, and if you do, your chances of making a playoff go way down.
Okay, and I would agree with both of those statements.
But it sucks for
I just don't
State.
like it. I think there should be at least some kind of punishment if you pull out, right?
Like you owe them some money at least, like $1 million. Right. Like you have to pay $1 million or something. Probably nothing for those Louisiana boosters. They'll just pay, but still some punishment. There needs to be. I don't like this at all. It's a game I want to see.
Yes.
The fans, like Texas, Ohio State, maybe it was low scoring, but we still got to see Texas, Ohio State. We're probably going to see fewer of those. We're going to not see LSU, Arizona State. Like I said, ESPN probably would have put, or ABC, Saturday night game, opening weekend.
I'm sure.
So that we're not going to get to see that. So no, I don't like this. And it sucks for Arizona State because it's kind of the opposite in a way. If Arizona State does win that, then their chances of the playoffs go way up.
Yes.
Way up. Because look, we beat LSU. So yeah, it sucks more for Arizona State, probably, and it doesn't make LSU look good.
No, and the last thing I'll say about this here is I would think, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will, but if I'm Arizona State and I'm recruiting players, I'm going to say, hey, you will be on a national stage because we'll play LSU a home and home in, what was it? I think it was 2029 and 2030, or it was 2028 and 29. I can't remember which one. But you use that when you're recruiting players, right? You're going to be on a national stage. You're going to be playing a team like LSU. That you use that, right?
No, absolutely. You can use anything recruiting. And if they show the Giannis Grease commercial where he wears that terrible wig one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh God, Giannis, the NBA player. Have you seen that commercial where he's
Giannis Antetokounmpo? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes, that commercial where he's like in the movie, in like the Grease movie. It just popped up on the Cubs game. But anyway,
no,
no, it's not a good look for LSU. But then again, you're gonna have less ethics when you have Lane Kiffin as your head coach. And I don't know if it was his call, but I'm guessing that it is. That is just my theory, that he decided, oh, look, middle, or Southeast Louisiana State or whatever, Louisiana Monroe. Hey, we consider them instead. Let's do that. That's almost a guaranteed win.
Yeah. All right. So I know we want to do a couple more NFL things. So before we go on, let's give us the music and let's change the background. Here we go. Now, wait a minute, buddy. I saw you drink something out of a cup that seemed to have some kind of logo on the side of it. Oh, look at that.
I haven't done a shameless plug yet.
No, you haven't.
30 minutes in, I haven't done one.
Right?
That's not like me. Yes. So, you can follow me at Football Cheese on X. There you go. Just Football Cheese, C-H-E-Z. YouTube channel, Football with Cheese. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. Got some fun stuff this week. I did an Aaron Donald video today.
Yes, I liked it. Earlier.
What?
I liked it. I watched it earlier. I reposted it, asked some questions, and we got some comments off of it too.
Cool. Yeah, it's not as easy as just coming back as people think. And then tomorrow I got a fun one. I picked 4 NFL teams that have no business winning this year. They should absolutely tank. Pick as high as possible. So I go over those 4 teams. That's tomorrow's video. Then I have another Rams video going over how they're changing the NFL. So that is this week. So hopefully, teams are about to report for camp. We got some more stuff coming, and hopefully the Packers extend Tucker Kraft soon, and I will make a video about that.
All right. I like all of it, buddy. So, tanking teams should be interesting. I can already think of a couple. One of them I'm banking I can kind of look out. If my wall was clear, I could probably just look out and see the part of the stadium there. But, yes.
That was one of the 4 teams.
I'm sure it was. All right, sir. So you want to do some other stuff. And, I teased it in the open that somehow got messed up. I don't know. I'm curious to go back and watch the cell phone one, because we have, for those of you who don't know and have never seen it before, on YouTube, we have 2 different ways to view this podcast. One, the traditional way where you can watch it on the laptop or watch it on the television screen, like what's behind me that I got fixed. I mean, the logo's back. Or there's one that's kind of specialized for your cell phone. So whichever one you choose to watch, it looked like it was doing it on the one on the cell phone, but my headphones don't connect with that one. They only connect with the one that I can see here in front of me because I have a laptop in front of me. So I'll be curious to see if it happened, and I don't know. I was all excited for it, and it got all messed up. And anyway, I teased this, and I said, will soccer change the way American football is played. First of all, let's pull up a picture here. Yes. One of the things that you were looking at, Cheese, the football is your area of expertise. You can see here Laramie Tunsil says if stadiums can make grass work for the World Cup, they can make it work for NFL players. What does he mean by that, Cheese?
So basically, what's going on is the World Cup came to North America, and they were in 11 NFL stadiums. Of the 32, 11 of them hosted at least one World Cup soccer event. And what they did was they changed the turf. Soccer players, I guess, the World Cup's always like this, or they prefer it, or whatever. I don't know much about World Cup. I don't watch it. I don't know much about soccer. It's so boring. But they prefer natural grass fields. And so the owners of these teams went out of their way to completely change the fields, make it natural grass. It has natural glass. Oh my God, yeah.
That'd be an interesting surface, but go ahead.
Natural grass for these soccer players, and yet they use some kind of artificial turf or hybrid kind of artificial grass fields when they play, NFL games. And what these players are saying, hold on. So it's okay for some soccer that's not even played in this country. It's a world thing, but you can't do it for us. You can't spend the extra money because it's more upkeep. It costs more money. You can't do it for us. You're billionaires. And even indoor stadiums like MetLife and SoFi, especially MetLife has had more injuries probably than any stadium out there. Mm-hmm. Indoors, they had natural grass. The technology now, they can do that. So that is what Laramie Tunsil and a bunch of NFL players, Jonathan Taylor, Tucker Kraft, there's a lot of NFL players that are, David Bakhtiari, former NFL player. He had a great post on X about this. They think, well, if you can do this for, a few soccer games, why can't you do this for us?
And you've got a feel for them, right? I mean, I don't. So like if I go to work, and I know you work from home. I don't. I'm on concrete all day, right? If I could get my work to change it, and if you could prove to them that it would cause less injuries and all of this kind of stuff, I'm sure they would go for it. Right now they're where I'm at, they're going for no smoking right now because it's the health insurance is less, and so if you could go through and prove that you're not going to get injured by putting a different playing surface in, I would think the owners would want to do this. I don't. Do you know why the owners are putting their foot down, saying we're not going to do it?
The only thing I can come up with is the cost. Even though they're billionaires, it's a business. The upkeep it's a lot tougher. No, I'll say this: I'm not defending the owners here when I say this.
Okay.
Football is going to have way more wear and tear on the grass than soccer, way more, and they play more games on that surface. So it's a lot of upkeep. You probably have to bring in probably at least 2 or 3 times a year a whole new turf, and that can get expensive. I remember in the 1995 season, I believe, Green Bay Packers, they won home field advantage. They wouldn't go on to win the Super Bowl, but the NFL made them replace the turf in the playoffs because it's just too bad. So they had to buy a turf from a company in Virginia, bring it in, and they didn't even do the whole turf, just like really, between the numbers. The outside they didn't care about. They had to bring in a whole new grass just because it was so worn out. So it's a lot of upkeep. You have to hire a lot more people, and they're like, well, we could just do this artificial hybrid grass turf, and the upkeep is very easy. It's very cheap. We don't have to fool with it. That's the only reason for it is money. But what's crazy is they're clearly not happy. Wouldn't you want to keep your players not only happy but more healthy? Because obviously, 92% of players prefer natural grass. They say it causes fewer injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, while I'm talking here, check your mic real quick because you were going in and out a little bit there in the last spot there, buddy. But yes, I would think that. I mean, I don't know. The only catalyst to this whole thing, I guess, is when a player gets injured. Most of the time, the players are insured. So I don't really think that costs the owners or the team money. You know, they pay for the insurance and then the insurance covers it and all that kind of thing. So that would be my only caveat to it, I guess, is that maybe the actual owners and the team doesn't have to play or doesn't have to pay for it if a player gets injured. And then, as you're saying, the artificial turfs and things are so much cheaper. You don't have to hire a grounds crew like they do in baseball. I mean, they stop the game for a few moments between innings just to get out there and rake some stuff and keep the upkeep. I guess they could do that at halftime pretty easy and it wouldn't really matter a whole lot. But yeah, you would think that the cost of just simply the players alone would outweigh the cost of the turf.
Not only that, they're not happy. I mean, just you don't want to get your players mad. And if there's some big injuries to some big players, other players around the league can be like, look, this is what's happening. So any big injury this year on some kind of turf is going to be, brought up. It's going to trend all over X, So it just doesn't make any sense to me. I did not realize how they just dropped everything for soccer. All right. So it's the World Cup. I don't watch the World Cup. I could care less about it. That's not an American thing. It's a world thing. Mm-hmm. USA is never going to win it. I think they made it somewhat far. I don't know. But whatever. This is an NFL American sport, right? And you can do it for them, but you won't do it for us who, it's an American sport. We live in America. We play on the field more. You can't do it for us, but you do it for this one event, just out of nowhere. I mean, that's insane to me. That would make me even more mad than the cost or anything else, that you drop everything for the World Cup. And it just shows you, I had no idea they could do natural grass in indoor stadiums. I had no idea. That shocked me. And the fact that they've been able to do that probably for years now, it's insane.
Well, no, it was just a short-term tournament, though. And the NFL is, 18, 20, 22 weeks long, depending on if you count the preseason and all that kind of stuff. Do you think that maybe has something to do with it? Where if it was a short-term thing and they could do it and at not a whole lot of a cost? The other part I wanted to get from you is, do you think the World Cup, I thought about looking this up before we did it, but I just didn't have time. Do you think they put it in the contracts of those stadiums saying we will have natural grass for our players?
Probably. I'm sure they were required to, but the fact that they just did it, no problem. It just doesn't make these owners look good. And like I mentioned, you might have to replace the field once or even twice throughout the year. You might have to replace it, and it can get really expensive. But at the expense of, it can't be more expensive than a lot of things. They make so much money in NFL with that TV contract, especially. They make so much money. So it's just, it cannot be like, oh, well, it's going to eat 20% of my profit. No way. No way. Not even, I bet you it doesn't even do 2% of their profit. It would eat into it. I bet you. So it just makes no sense that they're not doing this. And most teams used to have natural grass. You're older than me, of course. When I was a little kid, I'd see these muddy games. I'd see the natural grass. I'd see these games. So it used to be. And you know what's crazy?
That I'm older than you?
No, that's not crazy. That's that we get that. Once again, 92% of players were polled. They want natural grass. 6% don't care either way. And 2% said they prefer this kind of artificial grass, right? I guarantee those 2% are punters and kickers because they have to plant their foot and they have to kick off the surface. That's who it is. It's punters and kickers are probably the 2%. Anyone that has to make cuts, any skill position, especially the grind of the season, natural grass is softer. So I think they should just go to this. But here's my question for you is,
sure,
do you think this will change anything this season?
I don't think it'll change anything this season, but I could see the players doing some kind of a lockout type thing when the collective bargaining agreement for the NFL and the Players Association is up next. So this season, probably not, but I think it might damage the sport in the long run or when the next CBA is up.
You just bring up a really good point. A really good point. I hadn't thought of this. If the owners just give in and say, okay, we'll just go to grass. They get together and say, yeah, let's do that. Then in the next CBA, they can't use this. This might be something like, okay, we'll do this, but we can use this. Mm-hmm. The players, this is what we'll give them. So let's wait.
Leverage.
So yeah, they can use this leverage. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason for them if they're trying to use this. We can use this in the next CBA. And when we want something, we'll say, okay, we'll give you grass, but give us this, rather than actually go ahead and doing what's right for the players.
Right. Give us the 18th game and we'll give you grass.
Something like that. And you know what's crazy is, I don't think anything's going to change. Nothing. I don't think. I would be shocked if even one team changes it for this season. Even one team. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to ignore it. They're going to hope it goes away. And I hope it doesn't, because I'm definitely on the player side in this situation. There's no reason not to do this. If you can do this for the World Cup, you can. The fact you can do it indoors, you should do this for your players. It's crazy.
All right, buddy. Did you have any other topics that you wanted to explore while we're doing football here? I know that we've changed some things up a little bit. I didn't know if you had anything in your back pocket or if you wanted to do the picture from the 2021 draft and go over it for a second or anything like that.
We can do that another night. I think we got a lot of baseball tonight. But
we do have a lot of baseball tonight.
We'll get closer to football season. We'll kind of revisit some drafts and kind of look at it. But yeah.
Okay.
The 2024 draft will definitely be a fun one to look back at.
All right. Sounds good. So with that going on, let's switch to the best graphic in all of podcasting. As soon as I find the right music to get us from point A to point B here, I know it's here somewhere. Let's see. Where in the world is it? Oh, there it is. Here we go. All right, so I said that we had two new things on the show tonight. The first one we have already sort of done and then messed it all up, I think. But we'll go back and review the new intro that I put out there. I want to thank Ricky Logan for helping me with that. And then the second thing that we had that is brand new, we'll let this music play in the background as we do it. We are going to start doing, especially when we have a guest on, which we were supposed to have on tonight, but we ended up not. We're going to do Lights Out Trivia. Jeez. Yesterday, Nolan Arenado became the sixth player in Major League Baseball history with 2,000 hits, 350 home runs, and 10 or more Gold Gloves. My question is, can you name the other five?
My dad would probably get a lot of these.
They're not that old. One or two of them is kind of older, but I will tell you none of the five are playing right now.
Andrew Jones?
No. Let me help you here a little bit.
Willie Mays?
Willie, there you go. Willie Mays.
I got one.
Yes, you got one. Hang on here. Let me.
Did Andrew Jones not get 10 Gold Gloves? Okay.
Do what?
I wonder if Andrew Jones didn't get the homers. Okay. I feel like he got the Gold Gloves, but okay. Willie Mays is one.
Willie Mays.
Did Torrey Hunter do it? Probably not.
Torrey Hunter didn't do it. How about a catcher?
A catcher. I'm looking. I can picture him. I don't know why I can't think of his name.
A really
Johnny
good
Bench.
catcher.
Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench. Yes.
Johnny Bench. There we go.
So there you go. Let me.
The Gold Gloves is the key. The Gold Gloves is the key.
Right, the Gold Gloves are the key. Correct.
Because 10 Gold Gloves, you have to think of someone who's like so good defensively.
All right, so let's move to another infield position. How about third base?
Third base. Who won 10 Gold Gloves at third base? Nolan Arenado.
Besides Nolan Arenado.
Oh man.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, Mike Schmidt, of course.
Mike Schmidt. That is
I wasn't
correct.
thinking 80. I was definitely not thinking 80s. Did Cal Ripken do it? Did he win 10 Gold Gloves?
No, Cal Ripken didn't do it. I'm going to give you this one because I don't really know many clues because it's even actually a little before Al Kaline did it.
I would not have gotten that. I've heard of him.
Yeah. And then let me give you the last one. Center fielder, played for a team in the West and played for a team in the Central.
Oh, okay. Center fielder.
African American.
Well, you got to tell me the teams because
Seattle and Cincinnati.
Oh, King Griffey Jr.
King Griffey Jr.
I gave it away. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I said it the way I said it. Give me the teams.
I didn't realize he won that many Gold Gloves. I did
Yes.
not realize that. I know he's a really good right fielder. I just didn't. Well, I guess he was center. He played right when he went late in his career, but he was
Late in his career, he did.
Yeah.
So the guys are Al Kaline, Johnny Bench, Mike Schmidt, Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., and of course, as of yesterday, Nolan Arenado. So yeah,
soon to be piece in 10 years. Pete Crow Armstrong.
And you know what? That's a very good possibility. The guy's on fire, especially right the moment. So
well, because he's going to win 10 Gold Gloves, very likely. That's the thing. It's very tough to win 10 Gold Gloves.
It is very tough to win 10 Gold Gloves. Yes.
Barry Larkin, did he win 10? He never won 10 Gold Gloves.
I don't think he won 10. Let me give you this, buddy. Let's go to baseball here for a second. Let me take the header off real fast here so that you can see the top part of the picture that's up there. All right. These are the opponents in the next couple weeks for the Chicago White Sox. So I want to talk about the White Sox for a moment. They're 53-46 overall. They are 31-17 at home. They are 22-29 away from home. They are 20-26 against teams with a 500 or plus record. So, Cheese, are they a nice story or are they a real contender?
I don't think I think they're somewhere in between. They certainly have been impressive lately.
You're going to ride the guardrail on this one. All right, got it.
I don't think they're a true contender. I really don't. But at the same time, I think they're more than a nice story. I think they're a good team. I definitely think they're a contender for the AL because AL is much more up for grabs than the NL, I think. The NL is basically 5 teams are going to make the postseason, and someone else has to get in. AL, there's like so many teams that can make it. No, I think they're definitely improved, and it's honestly not even surprising. It's shocking. Just they have a lot of guys having really good years. They're scoring more. They're pitching better. It's just been a lot of things. It's clicked. A lot of things that they did bad last year, they're doing better, and it's just clicking.
All right. So thanks to our good friend Adrian White that you can find on X. We follow each other as well. So please give him a follow. He's a great thing for the Chicago White Sox. He is at Adrian White Sox. I like how he did that. On X, the Southsiders have the best record in the American League since April 17th. That record's 47-33. And here, Cheese, it's on the screen there for you. Here are their next opponents leading up to the trade deadline. The Texas Rangers, who are second in the AL West division as of writing this earlier. I'm not taking into account any of the games going on right now. So they are second in the AL West. They are 1/2 game behind Seattle, and they are a game and a half out of the final wild card spot. Then they are home against the Houston Astros, who are 4.5 games out of the wild card and 3.5 games behind Seattle. They are home again for the Yankees. It's a 4-game set. The Yankees are 1.5 games out of the AL East behind Tampa and 4.5 games up on the wild card. And then they go to Tampa Bay, who lead the AL East first place. Daggone, Cheese. Are we going to know if they're a contender after this brutal stretch? 3 in Texas, 3 Houston, 4 against the Yankees, and then 3 in Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, we'll know. Yeah, this is a big stretch for them.
Yeah, it's a brutal stretch.
They're a half game ahead of Cleveland. Cleveland's got Minnesota, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Arizona in the same stretch. So Tampa Bay, obviously best record in American League. They both play Tampa. So Cleveland has it a little bit easier, not so much, but yeah, I think this is the big stretch for them. And if they're still in first place, yeah, they have a very good chance to win the division.
Okay. Now that was before the trade deadline. They have the trade deadline day off, and then their next 2 opponents, Cheese, they go to Boston, who is hotter and I don't know what right at the moment, and then they play at home versus Cleveland. So again, we look at this stretch, and if that brutal stretch isn't enough, it's on your screen. Then they go to Boston, and Cleveland comes to them.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I think it is between them and Cleveland in the division.
Yes.
I think you'd agree. And
yeah. Minnesota's done.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
and Detroit's losing 9-0.
We'll get to that in a second.
Detroit's losing 9-0 tonight. I think the winner of the division will be the teams more aggressive at the deadline. Cleveland, a lot of times will just make one little token move. We'll see. But I think I don't know. I don't know what the deadline plans are for the White Sox. I don't know if they're like, okay, we're maybe more of a year away. Maybe we won't do a little thing here and there. I don't know. Well, Cleveland's finally do something big. I don't know. I feel like that whoever's more aggressive may win the division, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. It's a fair point. The White Sox, Cheese, have scored 10 or more runs 6 times in a single game this season as we continue to talk about the Sox here. Wow. They have a plus 52 run differential for the season. I'm big on all these stats. The Guardians are negative 3 run differential and only 1 game behind the Sox in the division. But you mentioned them a second ago. The Tigers have a plus 33 run differential and are 6.5 games behind the Sox. Well, so, Cheese, who's the bigger threat to the White Sox? The Guardians or the Tigers?
No, the Guardians for sure. I mean, by the way, it's plus 24 for Detroit right now. The Cubs are beating them at 9-0. But wow. The Tigers are consistently inconsistent. So I think Guardians for sure. I think I mean, there's a lot of rumors that Tarek Skubal is going to be on the move. So we'll see. But I think definitely the Guardians. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I don't know if they're going to move Tarek Skubal or not. I don't know. I'm not ready to say yes or no yet because I really believe that this next 2 weeks are really going to determine that. We won't know that.
Of course. So, I mean, even the next week, if they go 2-5 their next 7 games, tell them. But what they have to decide is, are we getting an offer better than we can get as some kind of compensatory pick? Because we'll get a pick for losing him. Are we going to get an offer better than that? And I'm guessing they will.
So then you're just going to assume that the Tigers can't re-sign him and they're going to lose him?
They're not going to be able to re-sign him. The Dodgers or Yankees will throw whatever at him. He's not going to re-sign there. He's going to go where the most money is. That's just the way it works, especially pitchers who get hurt all the time.
He's already said that he loves Detroit. He said, I mean, don't get me wrong, though. I mean, this is stuff that you say all the time, right? This is what you're supposed to say. I want to stay in Detroit. I love it here. Please don't trade me. I think we can still win, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if he really believes all of that or not, but it at least, I mean, I'm sure Detroit knows, right? I mean, Detroit has to know. Does he really feel that way, or is he just saying this stuff because it's what he's supposed to say?
What he's supposed to say. So a lot of these players say, I love it here. I want to stay here. They want to stay there as long as you match whatever the biggest offer is out there. Then they want to stay there. Okay, I don't want to move. Okay, but you match $400 million like this team did. It's like if he really loved it there, I'm sure they would have already talked extension. He'd already, extended him. That's the way it goes.
I don't know though. He got hurt. I mean, do you really extend him until you see what he's going to be like when he comes back? I mean, if I'm Detroit, I don't extend him during this season until I know what he's going to be like.
Pitchers are tricky.
Yes.
Because they could just get hurt. Like, I saw Chase Burns get 7 years, $105 million, and I see a lot of Reds fans really stoked. Okay? And I would be happy too, but at the same time, that could be a disastrous contract if he just gets hurt a couple times, misses a couple years, comes back, and he's just never the same. It's really risky. I see a lot of teams like the Brewers, especially the Braves, do this, give a lot of hitters long-term deals. I would do that. Eat up a couple years of free agency. We'll give you more money now. I like that approach, but I don't think I do with pitching. I understand why the Reds did it, but pitching, like, you could pay Tarek Skubal 8-year extension, and after year 3, he's just like a number 4, number 5 starter because he's been injured. He could fall off. Remember, Alex Manoah was one of the best pitchers in baseball for a year. Where is he now? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he only had 1 year. Skubal's had a lot of good years, but he's only had 1 year. But pitching is just so tricky. You could Justin Steele hasn't pitched in 2 years, for the Cubs.
Right. I'm trying to think. I can't remember his name. Maybe you can help me, or someone in the comments can help me. Milwaukee Brewers pitcher that went to the Diamondbacks. They signed him to a huge contract.
Corbin Burns,
right? Another example. He's been hurt so much. By far, do I want to wish that Chase Burns gets hurt? But you're right. That could be a devastating contract to a team like the Reds that don't have as much money as some of the other teams do.
At least it isn't like $300 million. But Corbin Burns, I don't know why, I don't know how, but the Brewers always trade every single player at the right time. Freddie Peralta had this amazing year. Oh, let's give him the Mets. Got prospects for him. He's been not good at all this year. Like, they always seem to trade every single player, hitter or pitcher, at the right time and get way too much for him when you look back on the trade. And that's why the Brewers are good. I mean, it's annoying, but they always seem to do that.
All right, let me pull this up on the screen here real fast. We looked at this a little bit during, I got to take this off real fast. There we go. So we looked at this during the All-Star game when we did the watch-along last week, but I wanted to revisit this for a second. This is the intra-division record. I teased in the beginning that the Arizona Diamondbacks were number 1 in a really big stat category, and this is it. They have the best record in intra-division play. So, Cheese, when will our next watch-along be, by the way?
We can do the Hall of Fame game, maybe?
Yes, we're going to do the Hall of Fame game. Okay. But you know me, I don't know when this game is and what time. Tell me, when is this game going to be?
It is going to be Thursday, August 6th at 8 Eastern, 5 your time. 5 your time.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. They don't trust me for times.
An hour earlier than the podcast usually is. According to this, Arizona Cardinals versus the Carolina Panthers. And the big question is, will Jacoby Brissett even have reported by then? You never know. Maybe.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. Got a nice Carson Beck 8x10, by the way, that I'm going to try to get signed as they're doing their camp. So
yeah, good luck with that.
Yes, I'm going to try, though. So only 12 teams, Cheese, have a plus record in their division. And 3 of those 12 teams are the Padres, Dodgers, and Diamondbacks. So I ask, is the National League West as tough as we think it is?
I mean, it's tough, but maybe just the Rockies and Giants suck so bad. Maybe that's
kind of what I think it is, too.
They're toward the bottom of the list. I mean, still a good division. I mean, it's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. I mean, I don't think it's as good as the Central.
Right. But it's a good 3-team division.
I think the NL Central, they used to be a joke. Remember a few years back, they were kind of a joke, but I think they're the best division in baseball this year.
Okay. The White Sox and the Guardians are +6 and +5, respectively, or respectfully. There we go. They are the only 2 teams from that division even on this chart in the plus side. Plus, Detroit is 9 and 16. So do the Tigers really have a shot at catching either the Sox or the Guardians?
they have a shot. They got to play a lot better than they did today. I mean, they have a shot. I mean, look, Scooble did miss a lot of time, and they really struggled without him. The problem is they're running out of time. Like you said, it's 2 weeks to the deadline, right? It's like August 3rd. That's 2 weeks away. So it's a big 2 weeks. They really need to win like 10 of 12, or you need to sell. Like, I mean, I think they're the team. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they got off to a really bad start last year, but by this time they were playing really well, and they ended up making the playoffs. But they were playing well at this point. So,
but they also didn't have the White Sox playing well. The only team that was playing really well in this division were the Guardians last year too.
Yeah, and I think they caught them and passed them. Didn't they win the division?
They did.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I think this alone could be what keeps them out of the playoffs. I mean, you're 9-16 against your own division. You're not going to win that division. So then you've got to narrow yourself down to the wild card. And as you just said earlier, the AL is just up for grabs. And it's not a good season to be crossing your fingers for a wild card berth in the American League this year.
Yeah, and the Cubs would be, if they didn't play the Reds, they would be 9 wins, 11 losses against the division. You just take away the Reds, so not good enough for the Cubs.
All right, so 8 total teams are either even, or a game above, or a game below. So, Cheese, is the league as a whole really this even this season?
I think so. There's not really, there's no team like the Rockies last year. The White Sox a few years before that. There's no team that's just like guaranteed to like lose 100 games. I mean, the Angels and Rockies are pretty bad, but yeah, I think it's just more even. The Brewers and Dodgers have really good records, but I don't think anyone else is just like, wow, this team's just really good. So yeah, I think so.
No, I agree with you 100%. I was going to say the same thing. Those two teams, we talked about them earlier. I don't know what's happening tonight, but the Brewers won yesterday. The Dodgers lost yesterday, so they flip-flopped. The Brewers now have the best record in Major League Baseball, and the Dodgers are in second place. We'll talk about the Dodgers more here in a moment when we get to Shohei Ohtani. Lastly here on this intra record so far this year in baseball, based on our thoughts at the beginning of the season, Cheese, which to you is the bigger surprise? That the Diamondbacks are first on this chart, or that the Reds are last?
I'm more surprised the Diamondbacks are first. The Reds last just because the division's so tough. And they just really haven't played well since May started. So I'm just maybe a little more surprised Arizona's done well against that division. And they swept the Dodgers right before the All-Star break. So maybe slightly, both are definitely surprising. The Reds' record is just like even a good division, that's horrible. And that's why they're in last place. What do you think?
So I'll give you a little bit on the Diamondbacks. I will praise them a little bit more. They came back from the All-Star break. They won 2 of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. They should have won the game that they lost. If you go back and look at that game, the last pitch that was called a strike on Ketel Marte was way above the zone. Marte didn't challenge it. He said he had a quote-unquote brain fart. But you can't have those if you're Ketel Marte is their superstar. You can't be a superstar and have a brain fart, as far as I'm concerned.
But you can say they should have lost the game. They're down 7-0 too. So you could say that.
Right. They come roaring back. That was going to be my second point. Yeah. As you said it earlier, the Cardinals bullpen's not real great. So now they own the season series against the Cardinals. No matter, they have one more game to play. They have a makeup game to play in St. Louis, I believe next week or the week after. But no matter what happens in that game, the Diamondbacks have won the series. So therefore, when you start looking at tiebreakers and stuff like that in this wild card chase, the Diamondbacks are now up on them. And then for the Reds, man, oh my gosh. I mean, look at the 2 bottom teams. The Rockies have 11 wins in their division, and we know what division they play in. The Reds only have 6 wins. For God's sake, Cheese, 6. Only beat 6 in out of 28. I'm going to say it right now. and this is probably going to get me a lot of flack, but I'm still going to say it. Terry Francona is overrated.
There were even some like Red Sox fans that said that, even though he won a World Series there. I've heard that. You're not the only one that said that.
He even said yesterday on a quote, Charlie, I can't remember Charlie's last name. I apologize, Charlie. I talked to him at spring training this year. Can't even remember the guy's last name. Maybe I'll get it here in a minute. He said it's really hard trying to give the veterans playing time, but yet trying to see what we've got in the youngsters. To me, it's not hard. At this point, you may as well put the young kids in. I don't understand why it's so hard to differentiate back and forth. I know you want to be loyal to your guys, but sometimes loyalty needs to go out the window. Just my opinion.
Especially if you think you're out of it, what good does it do to play the veterans unless you're trying to trade them? But you need to play. If it's not working, the veterans not playing well. And the Reds have had a lot of veterans that are disappointed this year. Why not play the young guys? Because they do have some good young players. So, the Reds. It's so funny. They were I don't know if it was early May or late April, but they were in first place and the Brewers were last at one point. I think it was like late April, like April 28th or something like that. And it's just completely flipped. Brewers have been playing amazing. It's just gone downhill for the Reds, and they were winning so many close games, and now they seem to lose all these close games.
They are actually still they're 1 up in the 1-run game. I think it's either 9-8 or it's 10-9. Yeah, so they're 1 up, but still.
But they won their first 7. So since then,
yes,
it's been bad. And the Diamondbacks, I just kind of pulled it up. They are half game out of the last wild card from St. Louis.
Yeah.
And if you remember last week, you asked who would be that extra team, and I said the Diamondbacks. Just saying, we'll see.
Just saying, right?
Just saying.
All right, we'll
you
talk
said
about
you said the Mets, and you're like, the Mets are making it.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Oh man, the Mets are going to make some other teams because they're going to sell off half their team,
probably,
or at least they should. All right, so we'll talk about all of that in a moment. We'll talk about Shohei Ohtani here next, and then we will look at every team in the National League, and Cheese and I will decide buyers, sellers, and each of us get one team that we can ride the fence on. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Cheese, Shohei Ohtani is currently out of the Dodgers pitching rotation. Should the Dodgers and their fans be concerned?
No. They had pitchers that missed so much time last year. Yamamoto missed a lot of time. No. He might not even be hurt. They might just be watching his innings. We want him to be 100% in the postseason. No, they shouldn't be at all. That's the way the Dodgers do this. He might not even be hurt.
Okay, so Shohei did not make his start before the All-Star break. He did not pitch in the All-Star game. Then he missed his first start out of the All-Star break. And he has not pitched since he got a no decision on July 3rd. So I was going to ask you, panic, concerning, or nothing. I think maybe you're going to go into the nothing category, but I'm at least going to say concerning. And I'm going to say concerning because of this factor, Cheese. They paid this man $700 million. They put a lot of their eggs in the Ohtani basket. And if all he can do is hit, even if he hits well, I don't know if the Dodgers can do it.
I don't know. So is it elbow?
It's knee. Knee inflammation.
Knee. That's better than elbow for a pitcher.
Correct.
Knee inflammation it just sounds made up. It sounds like, oh yeah, his knee might be a little sore. Let's just make sure. If it's actually a knee issue and it could linger, then I would be concerned. Then I'd say concerned, but not panic. But if not, if they're just trying to make sure, well, we're going to watch his innings, we want to keep it under 150 or whatever, then I wouldn't be. I right now, I'm a Dodger fan. I'm not really concerned.
Okay.
But if he's still not pitching, August 25th, then I'm going to be a little concerned.
All right. So the Dodgers are 6-7 since his last start. Is the rotation good enough to win a World Series? That's the key in the question.
Ooh,
Are they good enough to win a World Series without him in their rotation?
yes, but their chances go down quite a bit. I do think they still could, because still have a very good team. I mean, that roster's loaded, but their chances will, like, I picked them before the season. You did not. Of course, you did. You didn't want them, but yeah, their chances will go down exponentially. Yes, I used a big word. hmm Yes,
Hang on,
if
get
he
my dictionary out.
doesn't pitch, if he doesn't pitch, because he's a very good pitcher.
So there were rumors that he had an injection. There were rumors that he got his knee drained and all of this kind of stuff. Dave Roberts said that he did have an injection before the All-Star game, said that he did not get anything drained. So there was a whole bunch of did he do this or didn't he do that? And this kind of feeds into what you were saying earlier. Maybe this whole thing is made up. And let me give you, when Roberts was asked about Shohei's status moving forward, this is his quote. It's going to be some time. It's not going to be a day-to-day thing. Doesn't that just sound like an excuse or let's just push off these reporters until we have to have him start again?
I do. Like I said, I just don't know in this situation. Maybe it is a concerning issue, but I just know that teams have done this in the past, and the Cubs are guilty of this, where if a pitcher's struggling, rather than if he doesn't have any options left, now he's not struggling, but basically the Cubs have done this where they put them on the injured list and saying left knee tendonitis or right knee tendonitis, right? Because that's just, oh yeah, I mean, that happens. So, I have tendonitis in my knees in the past. I've had that issue. You can just throw that there, and then they can work on their mechanics, and you don't lose their spot, and you can bring someone else up. It's like, we need to work this guy out, and you're not really injured. So it could just be a way. We just saw the Dodgers be so cautious with their starters last year. So many pitchers of theirs were on the injured list for a lot of the year, but they had such a good team. It didn't matter. They still won the division. So it's possible there's an issue, but I still think it's also possible this is a nothing burger.
Okay. Last thing on Shohei, and then we'll move on to the teams and are they going to buy and sell and things like that here. So does this make him a mere mortal man now? Like he can only do one thing and not both? And does it endanger his ability to win the MVP? Now, I'll pause there. I've got a follow up to this, but I'll pause right there for a moment. Does it make him mortal, and does it endanger his ability to win the MVP?
It makes him mortal, and yes, it definitely will. I mean, he was probably the favorite for this. Like on July 3rd, he was, overwhelming favorite. So yes, it definitely will hurt his chances. Other candidates, they'll probably start looking at other candidates if he doesn't pitch again for quite a while.
Then there's this, and I think this is interesting. He is currently second to the Mizorowski and the Milwaukee Brewers in ERA. Shohei has a 1.79 ERA. But more importantly than that, he needs 12 and a third more innings to even qualify for the ERA title. So do you think that will influence the Dodgers' decision when all this is said and done?
No, I don't think the Dodgers care about ERA title. It's all about winning World Series. They won the last two. I don't think they care about that at all, unless it's in his incentives in his contract. No. But U.S., I haven't looked at MVP odds. I should have when I saw this in the notes, but there is a player that, we'll just say this before I say it. I don't like that.
Does he go by three initials?
Yes. I don't like that there should be separate Cy Young and MVP. MVP should just be hitting. They should separate it and should just take into Ohtani's hitting into consideration. Like, he's a two-way player, so if he does well at both, he's going to win the MVP. It's not going to be close, right? He is. He's going to be a 10-win player, and there's one other player though, the second WAR in the National League, and that's Pete Crow Armstrong. And I would love to see him win the MVP. He's definitely up there right now. He had another really good game today, but he doesn't pitch, so it's basically if Ohtani pitches and hits for the next 5 years, probably gonna win 5 more MVPs. Unless, like I said, if he hurt, it should be a separate award. Like when Verlander and what's his name? Kershaw won MVPs. They shouldn't have, because they won the Cy Young already. That's their award. There should be a separate hitting award. MVP should just be about the bat and the fielding, bat and fielding.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not against with what you're saying at all. In fact, I agree with it. If I'm gonna put a gun to my head and tell me to make a choice. But
PCA is the 6-win player. If the Cubs don't have him right now, they're not in the playoffs. They're not nearly as good as they are.
Well, that's just because they don't spend as much money as the Dodgers.
Well, it just means he's more valuable to his team. MVP, most valuable.
All right. No, again, you're not going to get an argument out of me per se,
Yeah.
but I'm just, the Dodgers are willing to spend $400 million and the Cubs only $250. So that is, $150 million on a team there's a pretty good difference there. And
I don't want the Cubs to spend $430 million or whatever it is, though. I don't. It's terrible for baseball. I don't want that. Then they become a hated team. I don't want that. They're like 10th or 11th in payroll. So I don't have a problem with their payroll at all. They actually went out and spent this year, and they're up 11-0. So
now it's 11-0 over Detroit.
Yeah, I think they put in an infielder to pitch.
Okay, it's about that time, right?
I guess.
All right, buddy. So this part of our program is going to be brought to you by Frost Buddy. It's going to get hot at the ballpark and at the gym and at your kids' sports practices, and you need a stylish way to represent your favorite college sports teams from Alabama to Xavier, while also keeping your liquids colder than a small forward missing 12 shots in a row, or they can also keep your liquids hotter than the center that's made 12 in a row. What all can the Universal XL from Frost Buddy keep cold? It can do traditional 12-ounce cans, Gatorade, and other sports drinks. It can do slim cans, tall boys, Arizona iced tea cans, and even bottles. And I don't know if you know this or not, but that's why they call it Universal. Plus, you can get a 100% leak-proof lid to cap off the experience like your favorite sports team caps off a great win. And speaking of sports teams, you can also choose your favorite MLB team logo. You can choose either the style from the Cooperstown collection or the Legacy collection in MLB. If you're more of an NHL fan, Frost Buddy and All Gloves Off Sports Media have you covered there with over 120 styles of Universal Buddies and To-Go Buddies, plus all of your NCAA teams. You got a 30-day free trial, 40K reviews that are positive with free shipping on orders over $60, and there are several 32-ounce bottle buddies in a rainbow of designs that you can do as a gift for someone in your life that might not be a sports fan like all of us are. And they also come with a sip and a chug lid. You can flip it. Just sip a little bit or flip it the other way, and you can chug that bad boy right down. So depending on your drinking pleasure, you have a no-slit bottom, a detachable strap, and they are all cup holder friendly. So, ladies and gentlemen, go to frostbuddy.com/Red Hot Reds, chill the liquid, and rep your team with the great combination of Frost Buddy and All Gloves Off Sports Media. Once again, frostbuddy.com/Red Hot Reds, and get yours today.
Cup holder friendly is important. Very important.
It is actually. The last thing you want to do is take it out to your car and you're fighting it, right? We've all had those great big cans not the cans, but these type of things at the bottom where they're too big to fit in the cup holder, and then you try to hold it between your legs and drive, and it just doesn't work, man.
Does not.
All right, so let's do this. We're going to do the same exercise that we did 2 weeks ago, because last week we did the MLB All-Star Game, one of the more boring All-Star games in the world. I'm glad we had a lot of other stuff to talk about.
It was. It really was.
It really was. If you guys missed it, and we'll even talk about Sanchez, the guy who gave up all the runs. We'll give him some flowers at the end of the show when we do batting cleanup. That's sponsored by ForwardFan.com. So we're going to start at the bottom, Cheese, and we're going to say buyers or sellers. And then once again, we're going to give each other one team to where you can ride the fence.
Okay.
All right. In the last 10 games, I thought this was interesting. There is no team. Let me make sure that's correct. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, there is no team in the National League who has won 7 of their last 10. A few of them have won 6, but I thought it was interesting. No one's won 7 of their last 10. So let's start with this team. 40-62 record, 12 and a half games out of the wild card.
40-62. Okay.
40-62, and that's an improvement from last year, by the way.
Oh no, I know you're talking about now.
Yes, they are 3-7 in their last 10, and they are a National League worst minus 94 run differential. In other words, the teams they have played have scored 94 more runs than they have. It's pretty hard to win when you have that kind of a stat. The Colorado Rockies, Cheese, buyers or sellers?
So,
yeah, we don't really have to talk about this, do we? These first few we're not really going to have to talk about. But, yeah, obviously they're going to sell. I'm not sure how many parts they've really got to sell. They did make a trade earlier today with the Dodgers. You can look that up.
Unless they want to move Hunter Goodman, but then I think he's still controllable, so they'd have to get a ton for him. But then you're trading an all-star catcher, so I don't. Yeah, there's not a lot. They don't have good pitching at all, so I don't know what you're going to trade.
Senzatella's not bad. You've got Jake McCarthy, who's done really well here lately. Those are things that we'll talk about next week with our Colorado Rockies guy when he comes on with us. So they're definitely sellers. How many parts do they have they can sell? That's kind of the question. And the next team on the list, I think, has several parts they can sell. I still don't know why this team has not done better, except for the point that I just don't think this team is gelled.
Not at all. I know what you're talking about. The defense is also horrible. Horrible defense. You can't just put guys out there, just stick them wherever and expect you to have good defense.
Yeah, I don't care if they are named Lindor and Soto and all.
Or Bichette. I mean, who thought putting Bichette third base was a good idea?
Right. You're right. It doesn't work. So we're talking about, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Mets. They're 42-59. So they only have 2 more wins than the Rockies do. Okay, let's put that into perspective. First of all, they're 10 games out of the final wild card position. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they are a minus 67 run differential. They are 21-28 at home and 21-31 away. And against teams with a 500 record, they are 23-41. Yes, 23-41.
So it's gonna be a major sell-off. Major sell-off. They're gonna want to move money too, not just players, not just people who be free agents like Peralta. They're gonna want to move money too.
All right, I agree with you in both of those things. They should sell half this team. I mean, realistically, they should sell half the team. And for those of you who are Mets fans, you're like, oh, we can't sell half the team. You've got Steve Cohen, ladies and gentlemen. He can buy whoever he wants and replace them next year. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
you're not going anywhere this year anyway.
Let's see what next year.
right
a funny
now,
one.
I'm telling you.
One. Yeah.
All right. The third team from the bottom has the exact same number of wins, just one less loss because they've played one less game. So they're 9.5 games out of that final wild card spot, 4-6 in their last 10, and their run differential is also really bad at minus 62. San Francisco Giants, Cheese.
Sell.
Buyers or sellers?
Sell. They're not very good at all. I watched them play they played the Cubs and Braves this year, both of them, and I just watched them play. They do a lot of things mediocre. So sell.
You know what? That's a really good point. That's a really good definition of the New York Giants. They do a lot of things average.
San Francisco Giants.
Or
you're in football mode. You're like New York Giants.
Yeah, I guess I am. Which is kind of surprising for me. I'm usually the guy that's into baseball mode.
I know.
But yeah, they do a lot of things average. You can be an average team on some stuff, but you've got to be above average on at least a few things. And they're really not on anything. And they're going to trade away some pitchers. They're going to trade away Robbie Ray, and they're going to get rid of probably half of their team too.
Do you think they'll listen on Devers? Do you think they'll listen on him at all? Because he's been hot. He has been smoking it.
He has, and I'll tell you how hot he's been. I almost did this stat earlier in the show. Players that have extra base hits, the most extra base hits. Rafael Devers right now has the most extra base hits with 40.
Since when?
For the season.
No, 40. No, he's got 40. No, that's got to be way more than that. The leader in extra base hits. Yeah, probably since maybe since June 1st or something like that. I don't know, but
I have to.
Yeah, he just something clicked like in June or something, and he's just been tearing the crap out of the ball. But it hasn't helped him win any more games.
No, you're right. That stat's got to be wrong. I was trying to say it off the cuff and not have the stat in front of me. I'll work on getting it here before the show is out. So, yeah, the Giants are sell. So the Rockies are sell. The Mets are sell. The Giants are sell. Next is the Reds, 45-54. So their record's not great, but they're only 6 games out of the final wild card spot. What do you think, Cheese? Are we selling or are we buying?
Buy.
Yeah?
No.
Okay.
No, we're selling. Its division's just too tough. You're in last year. You're in 5th place. Would you say 6.5? It's
6.
6. No, they're too inconsistent. Even if they got on a run, it just would not be good for their long-term future to go ahead and just buy here. Let's definitely. I don't think they're going to do like a massive sell. I think they're going to look at our free agents and try to sell them and just improve the farm system and just maybe try to get prospects that are in like Double-A now that may be able to help them next year. I think that's probably what I would do. And just, unless you get blown away by somebody who's controllable, I think it'll be like a soft sell. What do you think?
So I think there's one of these teams every year, and I think the Reds are going to be this team this year. There's always a team that buys and sells. And you just said it. You're going to sell off your people who run, their contracts are up at the end of the year. And you may try to buy some people who are going to help you long term, like what you were just saying. This will be an interesting trade deadline for the Reds because they have a ton of pieces that they can sell. They got a whole bunch of expiring contracts. Relievers like Johnson, who played for the Braves last year.
Yeah.
They've got Tyler Stevenson, who was up. You got J.J. Bleday. You've got Eugenio Suarez. I mean, you've got a lot of pieces in there that they could get rid of. You might even see them trade someone like Nick Lodolo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe.
I tell you the one person that people are going to call on, because people need right-handed power. There's a lot of teams that need right-handed power, Braves included, Cubs included. Spencer Steer could be interesting. I know he's controllable, but I think some teams may call on him. I don't know if they play everywhere. He can play everywhere too. He's versatility. But I mean, do you really want to trade that? A guy could play everywhere because then you can put him in wherever. So I think they'd have to get blown away, but I think teams will call for sure because a lot of teams out there you saw the All-Star game. Everyone's left-handed. There's a lot more left-handed power out there than right-handed. And he's got right-handed power. He's got what teams need.
Yep. Okay. I think it'll be interesting. We might talk about them a little more next week. We'll see. We'll see how all this unfolds. We're about getting guests and stuff like that to come on for our trade deadline special. The San Diego Padres, Cheese, they're 49-51. They're 2.5 games out of that final wild card spot.
50-51. They just beat the Braves. But anyway, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that would mean that they are less than the 2.5 games, depending on where everybody else is at. They're
2. They're 2.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 out.
Mm-hmm.
A negative 33 run differential, though, and away from Petco Field or Petco Park, they are 22-27. What do you think, Cheese? Buy or sell?
I'm selling. I'm selling big time. I'm trying to dump a lot of salary. They have a huge payroll. Their lineup sucks. They're last in the National League in runs scored. That's hard to believe. You look at these big names,
Yeah.
but Machado's and has been really disappointing. He's been terrible. And what's that third baseman?
Tatis.
No, Tatis has actually been doing much better lately. Oh, he used to be on the Red Sox. I think he's their shortstop.
Oh, the shortstop.
I don't. His name escapes me, but they just have a lot of guys that have been disappointing. I would even listen on Mason Miller. I would listen on him because they're not. Someone might blow you away. You give up a lot for him. You give up Leo DeVries. That was dumb.
Xander Bogaerts, by the way.
Xander Bogaerts. Yeah, he's been. Yeah, they have a lot of underachieving bats. So I would listen to just about everyone, believe it or not, on that team, and I would listen on Mason Miller. Somebody might be stupid and give you a lot because closers, like, the problem with closers, and I would never trade for one, is you don't even know if you're going to get in the situation where you need them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's a last line of defense. It's like the deep safety in the NFL. It's like great to have one, but they're not going to be involved in a lot of games. They're not going to be a lot of plays. So I think they should sell big time and sell a lot of payroll. What do you think?
I agree with you on most of this. Their whole infield, Machado is underachieved. Bogarts is underachieved. Cronenworth has underachieved.
Cronenworth, yes. I was trying to think of his name. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, their whole infield has been, not very good. They don't have a great catcher. Even Jackson Merrill in center field, I'd listen on him too. Somebody may blow you away, but I'm not sure how many pieces the Padres can actually trade because, we're listing all those people off. Who wants those guys? The Padres are in a bad spot right now. They would have payroll and not a lot of offense.
They would have to eat a lot of salary. Mm-hmm. And Joe Musgrove hasn't even pitched for them this year. That's been a big problem. He's a very good pitcher. But even if he comes back, I mean, you can't, he'll be back after the deadline. You can't trade him. Mm-hmm. So, they're just a mess. Michael King, I don't think he's been as good this year as last year as well.
No.
More than any team, probably. I don't think I've seen more people have down years compared to last year than the Padres because they were good last year.
Mm-hmm. It's true. The next team, I can't wait to get your opinion on this one. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm fencing this team. This is my fence team.
Okay. It's not my fence team. It's not my fence team, but okay.
This is my fence team because I like some of what they're doing, but I'm not sure if they're right there with the Pittsburgh Pirates for me. They're probably another year away, but anyway, the Washington Nationals, they're 51-50. They're only one game out of the final wild card spot. They're 5-5 in their last 10, and here's my stat, right? They are plus 19 in run differential, plus cheese. The Washington Nationals are more than likely going to have to go on the road if they make it to the playoffs. Their road record is 31-19.
Well, that means their home record must suck. So
20-31. Yes.
That's a fluke. That's just one of those where there's always one team like that every year. Just one. There's always, I don't know what that is, but I'm selling. They don't have any pitching. You have to have pitching in the postseason. Pitching wins more than hitting. Good pitching will beat good hitting in the postseason. They have a great lineup. They can score runs. They have some exciting young hitters, no doubt about it. But like you just said, they're probably your way. They've got to sell and get more pitching because it's bad. The pitching is really bad. So I say sell. I've said selling everybody so far, actually.
Yeah, they're not, but I don't think they're going to sell a ton.
Tell the free agents. And if you get blown away by one of their bats, that's maybe not a long-term sell it, but
I want to look at their roster here for just a second. They're getting beat by the Rockies right at the moment, by the way, in the bottom of the 6th.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Rockies the only team with worst pitching in the National League, and the Rockies, that's understandable. They're the second worst pitching in the entire National League. It just doesn't work in the postseason. You have to have pitching.
I will say, I think they've got a key piece. that some team is going to get, and he's going to Foster Griffin. He was the All-Star. I really like Foster Griffin. He's going to be owed less than $2 million because of the contract that he signed with the Nationals. He is an expiring contract, so I don't think the Nationals are going to keep him. But I really think they could get a piece or two from him. So I really look for them to sell him off and maybe a few other pieces, but I don't think it's going to be a massive sell. I think they're close. These next four teams for me, right? We're starting with the Nationals. So you got Nationals, Diamondbacks, Pirates, Marlins. They're interesting. We'll get to all of them here in just a second. Next, though, is those Arizona Diamondbacks. They're 51-49. They are a half a game out of the final wild card spot, 6-4 in their last 10, but they are a -14 as far as run differential goes. They play pretty good at home, 29-22, but they're not going to win that division, so they're probably going to have to go on the road, and their road record is 22-27. And against teams over 500, I almost hate to give you this stat, 19-34. What are we doing, Cheese?
Must really beat up on San Francisco and Colorado.
I'm
buying. I'm going to buy.
All but one game.
I'm going to buy. Merrill Kelly's back pitching good again. You know, he's so streaky.
He is.
I'm going to buy. They have pieces. They have Corbin Carroll. They have
Ketel Marte. Nolan Arenado.
Nolan Arenado. They have pieces. I think they're better. I expect them to be a little better in their record right now, and they're half game out, right?
Yes.
Of the wild card. Like I think it just, if you look at the group of teams from like the sixth best team to like the 11th that stretch, I think they might have the best roster overall. But they need to get some pitching. They need to trade for some pitching. But we saw them in the World Series like 3 years ago. So I think I would buy. What about you? My first buy. Woohoo!
I almost saved my fence team for this one. This team makes me want to pull my hair out. I watch them a lot. I've kind of, I love my Reds, and I live here in Arizona, so I want to be loyal to the Diamondbacks as well. I've really started watching more Diamondbacks games here lately because the Reds are just, I'm tired of watching 7 hours of baseball and being disappointed with 3.5 of it. So I've kind of switched to Arizona. When they beat the Dodgers and swept them before the All-Star game, right before they left for that road trip, they went to San Diego, actually lost 2 or 3, went to LA, swept them. Mike Hazen went into their locker room from, some of the inside stuff that I've got here with the Diamondbacks and basically challenged the team. And he said, okay, boys, what you do here over the next 3 weeks is going to determine what we do at the trade deadline. If you would like for us to go for it, then show me that you can do it. And if not, just fail and we'll sell everything off. And here they are. They beat the Dodgers 3 in a row. They had a miraculous comeback in that game on Sunday and beat the St. Louis Cardinals 2 out of 3. They let the Oakland Athletics beat them last night. I don't know what's going on with them right at the moment, but oh, man. But then they've got guys like Rodriguez, who is an all-star, he is a perfect sell high candidate. Yes. So I'm on the fence. And I know Tampa Bay is chasing Ketel Marte. They want Ketel Marte. And there's a lot of people want Ketel Marte. Do what now?
A lot of people should want Ketel Marte.
Yes, but I see him day in and day out, and I get a little frustrated with him because he has these mental lapses. He doesn't run the first base. There's these little things that just annoy me about him. And the rumor would be if they can get what they want from Tampa Bay, they would let him go. And then they turn around and get Luis Ariz from the Giants and put him at second base. And they still feel like they've not lost a whole lot, at least for this season. So
they are beating the Athletics 3-1.
Okay. We'll see. Gun to my head, I'm going to go with I'm going to buy because I think they're close.
I
And I
think they're
think
going to
you're
be that sixth team. I do. I think there's. We know that the Dodgers, Brewers, Rays, Phillies, Cubs, very likely those five teams will make it. They need a 6-1. I think they're going to be that team. But well, obviously, if they don't buy it, they sell. They're not. But I just have a feeling.
okay. Next, 52 and 49, and the Pirates, the Marlins, and the Cardinals are technically all tied for that last wild card spot right now. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy how close these teams all are. The Pirates are 52 and 49. They're 6 and 4 in their last 10. And here's the reason why I think I'm going to give them the slight edge as to them being the sixth team. They are plus 51 run differential. Their statistics say they should be 55 and 46 when they're actually 52 and 49. They've got a really good ace. They are exactly what you want to be, Cheese. And you know this. You've been watching baseball, well, not as long as I have, because you're just a few years younger than I am. They're
A lot more than
27.
that.
Okay, sounds good. They're 27 and 24 at home, and they're 25 and 25 on the road. I know you've heard this adage: you play better at home and you play 500 on the road, and you should be good. That's where they're at right now. They're the Pittsburgh Pirates. What are you doing here, Cheese?
I just don't think they have the pitching. What's crazy is last year they had really good pitching and they couldn't score at all. This year their lineup's tremendous, but their pitching is not good enough. Just like the what team was that? Oh, the Nationals. I don't think the pitching's good enough, and the division's tough. And they still have to play the Dodgers, Brewers for 7, and they still haven't played the Yankees yet. Like they haven't played Boston. Just look at their schedule; it's brutal. I think. Fence. I'm definitely on the fence with Pittsburgh because there's pieces there. Skeens hasn't been quite as good. There's pieces there. I think there, and I said this when we did our previous show. 2027 to 29 should be very good, but this is 2026, so it might be beneficial for them to sell off some guys that are free agents. Just do a sell. And just really go for it next year and just really maybe go after some pitching because I just don't think they're a contender. I think they can make it, but I think they'll be one and done.
Yeah, but they've got Skeens. They got Mitch Keller. They got Jared Jones, who's pitching much better here as of late. Bubba Chandler, another young kid that's coming. Braxton Ashcraft, I like him. Do they have a bunch of aces? No, but they've got an ace and then like 3 average guys to follow him up.
Yeah, no, Skeens in a 3-game series is very beneficial, but the bullpen ERA is 4.38. That's not very good. The bullpen is a problem. But yeah, you'd much rather face them in a 7-game series or 5. You don't want to face them in a 3 where you face Skeens. Good chance you lose one. You have to win the other 2. So that is one big advantage having number 1 starter. It's probably the Cubs' biggest weakness is they don't have that guy. But I'm just on the fence. I think it'd be better for them to maybe actually sell because I just don't think they're quite there yet. But I think their future's bright.
Now the next 2 teams, I'm sell and sell. I know I'm kind of giving this away a little ahead of time, but I don't believe in the Miami Marlins. I don't think they're quite there yet, even though they do have Sandy Alcantara and Yuri Perez. I like both of those guys. They're starting to fall apart, Cheese. They're 3 and 7 in their last 10, and in fact, they have lost 7 in a row.
They're collapsing, yeah.
Yes.
They had a series against the Brewers, and they had, I think, a lead in all 3 games, and 2 of the 3 in the 8th inning or later and collapsed. That showed me they can't hang with, they're not going to be able to beat a team like that. They're not ready.
Yeah,
and Max Meyer
is very suspect.
And Max Meyer, one of the best pitchers, is on the injured list.
Mm-hmm. True. So yeah, I'm selling if I'm the Miami Marlins. I'm not selling a whole bunch of my pieces. I'm not selling that young core that they've got. But I'm going to sell the expiring contracts, and I'm going to kind of do what you said about Pittsburgh. I'm going to sell everybody that I can right now, and I'm going to load up and spend some money in the offseason and try to go for it next year.
The Marlins won't spend any money. They have like the lowest payroll in baseball. But no, I agree. I'm going to sell, and their pitching has been tremendous this year. They need to score more runs. They need some bats. So
Mhm.
just sell their free, sell the guys that are impending free agents. But going for it would not be smart, especially before their 7-game losing streak. Yeah, maybe it would have made sense, but now, no, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and then the team that is right above them, the St. Louis Cardinals, they're 51-48, 4-6, and their last 10, they have lost 3 in a row, 2 to the Diamondbacks, and then 1 to the Angels last night. That was the team that lost. We talked about the Angels finally winning a game after trailing in the ninth inning. They finally did it, and it was the Cardinals that they beat. They are only +3 in the run differential category. They're 26-26 at home and 25-22 on the road. So I don't believe in them either. I agree with you. They don't need more pitching. They've got some good young guys, but they're just not experienced enough. They need another year of seasoning on the pitchers that they already have. Get a couple more bats in there. I love J.J. Weatherholt. I think signing him to that big contract was a great move for them.
I do too.
They've got a great shortstop. Alec Burleson I like really well. Of course, Jordan Walker you have to like.
Yeah, Mason Wynn. Yeah,
shortstop. Yeah, Mason Wynn at shortstop. Yep. So they've got a good core. I just think they're a little young. That's all.
Yeah, they trade away a lot of veterans. This is supposed to be a retool. They weren't expected to be like they make the playoffs at the season end today. So I think they've overachieved. Their bullpen has collapsed on them. And I just, like I said, I think they've overachieved. I think they got to be realistic. And same thing we just talked about with the Pirates, with the Marlins. Just sell off your free agents. Maybe listen on Newt Bar, possibly, but don't buy. Do not buy. You're not really a contender. The bullpen just isn't good enough. I mean, if Ryan Stanek's your 7th or 8th inning guy and Riley O'Brien's your 9th inning guy, I mean, they would have to trade for probably 3 more bullpen pitchers to have a realistic shot. And that's just bullpen. That's not even talking about the lineup or the rotation. So, yeah, I would sell.
Okay. So, beyond that, Phillies, Cubs, Braves, Dodgers, Brewers. We know all those teams are buying, right?
Yeah, so, absolutely. No doubt about it.
There's no doubt.
No doubt
we don't need to go through all of that, right? All of those teams are buying. So
how much they do will be interesting, actually.
Yes, and that's kind of what I want to talk about here. I want to give you a few stats on some of these teams, and I want you to kind of help me here and go with me, right? So let's look at those. So actually, St. Louis is that 3rd wild card team right now. The Phillies are 2nd, and your Cubs are the top wild card team. Here's an interesting thing. Brewers, Braves, Cubs, Phillies, Pirates, and Diamondbacks are all 6-4 in their last 10.
Okay.
So they're all right there together, and no one's really separating themselves from anything else, right? The Phillies, though, are a -10 run differential, even though they've got Harper, Schwarber, and some of those other guys. Do they need a bat, Cheese?
Yeah, they do need a bat, probably 2 bats. I'll say this about their run differential. It was so bad in April. They got off to a horrible start. So it's been much better since then. But yeah, they need a bat. After you got Schwarber, you got Harper, you got Brandon Marsh, who's an all-star. He's having a good year, but they don't have like the bottom of the order is bad. And yeah, they definitely need a bat.
Okay. So then what do your Cubs need? They're 56-44. They're actually 4.5 games up. So they are the top wild card spot right now. You said have they won yet?
So I made a list of all the Cubs needs.
Please.
Okay.
I will sit back and listen, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So I hope you have 20 minutes. So here we go. No, Cubs are in a catch-22, I think, because they are a good team. They're going to make the postseason. But and there's pressure on Jed Hoyer, who's been every deadline. He's made 1 or 2 smaller moves. Nothing. He won't go for it, right? And there's a lot of pressure to go for it. The farm system's better. It's been a couple of years. But even though it's probably more the middle of the pack, it's not at the top, but it's not in the bottom 10 or anything like that, bottom 12. Right. So there's pressure, just go for it. Trade these good prospects and go after some big pitcher or go after a closer or something like that. The problem is, I think they need at least 2, maybe 3 bullpen pitchers. They need at least one starter. It needs to be a front end starter. They don't have a Chris Sale. They don't have a Paul Skeets. They don't have anyone like that at the front of the rotation. Kate Horton's out for the year. Justin Steele, if he comes back, will pitch out of the bullpen, they already said. So they don't have that guy. Do you know how much it takes to give up that? So I don't think they need a bat. There's not really, that's good, but the guys that they're putting out there for 7th, 8th inning should be middle. They have so many middle relievers. Put it that way. Their bullpen has one guy right now that's not hurt because Daniel Palencia, their closer's hurt, but one guy that I don't consider a middle reliever, and that's Jacob Webb, but he's more of a 7th inning guy. So the bullpen has overachieved, in my opinion. And so they would have to trade for multiple relievers and a front end of the rotation starter to compete with the Brewers, Dodgers in the postseason. So they either need to go for it or do nothing, in my opinion.
So Jameson Taillon and Aaron Savali are not going to be the answer for the Cubs?
Jameson Taillon can't stop giving up homers. He was actually their best pitcher in the postseason last year, but this year he just cannot stop giving up home runs. Big problem. Shota Imanaga been pitching better lately, but he's been susceptible to home runs. I don't know what it is. I mean, you're at Wrigley Field. Why are you acquiring all these pitchers that are fly ball pitchers? You need ground ball pitchers in Wrigley. Makes the wind's going to blow out a lot. So no, their best pitcher this year has been Ben Brown. He's hurt. So Justin Steele, Ben Brown, Kate Horton, all hurt. And Ben Brown, they're like, well, yeah, he should come back before the end of the season. I don't know what that means, Mike. Should come back before the end of the season. He's got a neck injury. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's kind of like Shohei, right? Oh, it's he'll probably pitch sometime before the end of the season, but maybe not. And yeah, right. It's kind of, same kind of thing. All right, so the 3 division winners in the National League are the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Braves. And I think the Braves right now are kind of looked at as the 3rd team in that group. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And I think there's still a very legit shot that the Phillies catch them. I hope not. But the Braves, they were playing really well. Some of their flaws have really started to show up. So, yeah, I definitely think right now they're 3rd in the National League.
But the Braves are they're a plus 109 in a run differential. That's pretty good, buddy.
Plus 104 after tonight. But it is, run differential doesn't matter when it comes to standings, unfortunately.
No, see, I disagree.
I think they were they got to get Acuna back. They're much better offense with Acuna. The offense hasn't been as good. It's been a little bit better since the break, but this week, but the offense has been a problem. The back end of the bullpen's been good. But they could use another bat, a right-handed bat especially. They suck against lefties. There are mediocre average lefties with 4 and 5 something ERA starters, and they can't hit them. So that is a huge problem, and you're going to face some really good lefties in the postseason. So they've got to get a right-handed power bat as well at the deadline. In my opinion, they can play left field, but a lot of people can play left field.
All right. So then the perfect guy for the Atlanta Braves is Spencer Steer, right?
He would be a great fit. I think they should call and ask for sure. Yeah. But needing a left fielder is like the best position to need. It's the easiest one to find. It's hard to find the others. So, but right-handed power bats, I said that there's a lot of teams that need right-handed power. So, like the Cubs, they have Seiya Suzuki. They don't have another really good right-handed power bat because Bregman hasn't hit for a lot of power. So they have one guy that hits for power from the right side.
Yeah, I saw that 10 home runs. From Bregman this year. I was shocked when I saw that.
On pace for 16 homers. Yep. Yeah. Terrible.
All right. So then tell me about this. You talked to me about this a little bit last week when we talked about the Cubs and, during the All-Star break and stuff. What do the Braves have as far as minor league players that other teams would covet? How good is their system?
Ooh, it was probably a bottom 5 system last year. It's better now. Still probably bottom 10. They have really done a good job drafting the last few years in the first 4 rounds. But they have maybe one top 50 guy. And I don't know. I don't think they would move Cam Kennedy. I just don't think they would. There's another guy, Eric Hartman, outfielder, who's he's hitting for power like he's like at 70 out of 80 speed. Like he's a speedy outfielder, and he's hitting for power this year. I don't think you can move him. Like they just don't have as deep a farm system as say like the Brewers, say the Dodgers, or teams like that. They just don't. So if they're going to go after someone big, the farm system will be seriously crippled. But the Braves somehow, though, I'll say this. They somehow have guys that are never top 50 prospects. They become all-stars. Spencer Strider, Michael Harris, none of them, they were all like 87, 76, like top 100 prospects. They never were top 50 and became all-stars. So they somehow, Spencer Schwellenbach, I don't think he was ever a top 100 prospect. He just had Tommy John last year. But so maybe it's better than it looks on paper, but I don't think they have as much options as, say, like the Brewers or Dodgers.
Okay. So, yeah, you said it. The Brewers have a stacked farm system. So do the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you think between the Brewers and the Dodgers, who's going to make the move? Are the Dodgers just going to throw money at everybody and make sure that they win? And can the Brewers go after it? I mean, can the Brewers go get Tarek Skubal?
Brewers rarely do something like that, go after Reynolds, but they did with CC Spath. You remember that? That's
yes,
the one time.
I'm going to compare it to that.
Yeah, they did it one time, and he pitched amazing for them, but they still lost first round of the playoffs. So it would give them Mizrowski and then Skubal. Oh, my gosh. Harrison. But maybe they need to do something. They always do this. I know they did make it to the NLCS last year, but then they got dominated all 4 games. It was a joke. None of them were close. Dodgers dominated them. They got to make a decision because they make the playoffs every year. Are you going to go for it? Are you just going to be okay with a first or second round exit? Are you going to go for it? So I think of all the teams, they should, because they do have a good farm system, they should go for it. They should go for some big name and, try to win it all this year.
But here's the difference this year, Cheese. The difference is they have the best record right now. And even if they don't have the best record, they're probably going to have the second best record, which means they won't play the Dodgers until the end of the postseason this year. Does that make a difference to you if you're a Brewers fan?
No, it doesn't, because Brandon Woodruff is out for the year. And Kyle Harrison, I believe, I think he's hurt too. 2 of their best 4 pitchers are hurt. They got to, like you mentioned, Skubal, they got to go out and get a starter. They do. There's no one on the roster right now, I think. I'd have to double check that. I would be comfortable in that number 2 spot in the postseason. So, and you have to get to the Dodgers. There's no guarantee. They've had really good records and been bounced right away in the postseason. They have just not have had a lot of postseason success. So the Brewers, of all the teams, probably in the National League, need to be the most aggressive, in my opinion. They have a really good team. They're loaded. Go for it.
All right. It'll be an interesting trade deadline, and I can't wait to talk more about it next week as it gets a little bit closer. Now we're going to do our ending segment, Batting Cleanup, presented by ForwardFan.com. And, Cheese, I don't know if you saw me tease this. ForwardFan.com has a huge announcement, and they're letting us do it. Here's what it is. We have said forever you can get tickets to the to MLB playoffs. Well, starting today, you can get tickets. They can't say the real name of the game that's played on February 14th. They have to call it the big game, because if they called it the Super Bowl, they'd have to pay a ton of rights for it. So let's just call it the big game, right?
The big game with the halftime show.
Yes, the big game with the halftime show. But you can now go to forwardfan.com. And it says Big Game 2027. I'm looking at it right now. You click on it, and then it gives you all the AFC teams and all the NFC teams. So for fun, Cheese, Bengals for me, Packers for you. Let's see how much these tickets are. Now, the only tickets they have right now are what they're calling upper level access. That's it, the field level view tickets. They don't have anything in the premium sections yet, so that's what you're getting. If I click on my Cincinnati Bengals, if they make the playoffs, Cheese, how much do you think big game tickets are going to cost you if your team makes the Super Bowl. What is called the Super Bowl because we can.
Without using Forward Fan?
Yes, without using Forward Fan. Yes.
Oh, like more than $5,000 probably.
Correct. They're upwards of $5,000. That's exactly what I wanted you to say. It's almost like you could read my mind.
That's like a nice vacation. That's like a nice week-long vacation. A nice one. Okay.
So if the Cincinnati Bengals make it to the Super Bowl this year, and you buy your tickets right now at forwardfan.com, you will pay $530 a ticket.
Got Dexter Lawrence.
Yes, instead of like $5,000 a ticket.
Wow.
And let's go to the Green Bay Packers. And they, if you buy today at forwardfan.com, $630 per ticket to go to the Super Bowl.
It'd be a lot more expensive if they didn't have Matt LaFleur, I guarantee you. But no, that's amazing deals. Like to go to a Super Bowl. It really is. Wow, that's incredible. If you believe in your team, you got to do it.
There you go.
Over $5,000. That is just. I've never, minus a car. I've never. Oh my God, I've never spent. But that's a car. Like you're gonna have that for years. Like anything on one little. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd ever be able to spend that kind of money for a sporting event, no matter how much money I was lucky enough to get. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, like you just said,
that's why Forward Fan exists. That's why Forward Fan exists, so we don't have to spend that much.
True. If you believe in your team, and it's one of those things that's been on your bucket list that you've always wanted to do, I want to go to the Super Bowl. I think you need to go to forwardfan.com and invest $500 or $600 in doing so, and see if you can't believe in your team, follow your team, and then have your team actually go to the Super Bowl.
And if you believe in your team, you get whatever Super Bowls are like 59, 60, whatever. You get a tattoo. Say Bengals Super Bowl champions. That's the Super Bowl number, right? You get a tattoo. But if you go to Forward Fan, it's less permanent. Costs about the same much as a tattoo. About the same, but it's not as permanent. But if you really believe in your team, you get a tattoo. I can see that.
Okay.
I can see Mike getting that big tattoo.
No.
All on his back. All on his back.
Sure. No, I'm gonna put it on the tramp stamp right here above. Anyway, we said children's show. Stop it.
Hopefully they're in bed.
They might be.
I never thought tramp stamp would ever be mentioned on this podcast. So there's something. Yeah.
It's the first time for everything, sir. All right. So we got 4 things here for our batting cleanup. It's presented by forwardfan.com. The first one. I know that Phillies. Here, let's put the picture up. You know what? I'm doing this, and I had this picture, and I didn't even. Hold on. I gotta click the right button and get everything pulled up here. Christopher Sanchez, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's great, and he's great as he's not pitching in an All-Star game.
Right. He's great if he's not pitching in the All-Star game. And I know he did bad in the All-Star game this past Tuesday, but I do want to give him his flowers here. He leads Major League Baseball with 335 swings and misses so far this season.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It is.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. So
I always thought he was more of a ground ball pitcher. That's really impressive.
Mm-hmm. Let's take him off for a second. I want to put the banner back on the top because I won't need it for the next picture. The next one is a guy that I know you love. I teased it in the open that we need to give him some love, and he well deserves it. He, of course, is Yordan Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
We gave him some love in the 5 flaming 5 and 5. There he is. I'll tell you what, I am going to go ahead and take the banner off the top of it because it looks better for the other viewers that are watching it on the cell phone thing. So we'll do that. So we said Yordan Alvarez has 15 home runs and is batting .294 in 2-strike counts. But let's give him some more love. Yordan Alvarez is currently number 1 in all 3 Triple Crown categories. In average, he's number one at 325. And the number two guy is Mr. Diaz from Tampa Bay, and he's at 311. In the home runs, Alvarez again, number one, 33. And another Tampa Bay guy, Caminero, has 29. So four in back of him. And then RBIs, Alvarez is again number one with Ben Rice from the Yankees at 68. Alvarez has 75. So he's not only leading, Cheese, he's leading by a decent margin in all of those.
I mean, is there any doubt who's the MVP right now of the American League? I mean, I know Junior Caminero has been amazing. Maybe the only other one that's even close, right?
Yeah, he's the only other one that's even close.
I mean, his team has the best record in the AL, so maybe he gets a bump from that. We'll see. I mean, the Astros. I still think the Astros are gonna finally get it going. We'll see, but it's pretty remarkable what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, I don't know what's going on tonight. We're having all kinds of stuff go on, but I know I just had a little note from our streaming service saying that there was something wrong with Facebook. So it's not us, it's Facebook. They've done something. They're updating or something such as, and we just got cut off on Facebook. So if you're watching over there, I apologize. I guess I shouldn't be apologizing to you because you have no idea I'm apologizing to you because you're not watching it anymore. But yeah, so just so everybody knows, that's where you're at. That's what's going on. Cheese, yesterday's game between the Orioles and Red Sox was only the second time in Major League Baseball history where the two teams playing each other had winning streaks of 7 or more games. And between the two of them, they had a combined winning streak of 20 or more games. The last time this was done was September 13th, 1884. Yeah, I said it right. 1884, when it featured the St. Louis Maroons and the Washington Nationals. That's from OptaStats, by the way. You can get them on X. We follow them. They follow us at OPTASTATS. What do you think about that, buddy?
I think the Orioles and Red Sox are doing really well, especially Red Sox are they just win every game.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty remarkable, though, that there haven't been two teams that have been that hot. But it's 1884. Wow. So that was the year before you were born, I think?
Yes, just
okay.
one.
Just one. Okay.
Just one. All right, let me again take this off. We got one last picture to put up here and one last stat for you here on the batting cleanup with ForwardFan.com, presenting it to all of you. Here he is, and there's the baseball. Nolan Arenado. Love this shirt, by the way. That's the baseball where he got the 2000th hit on yesterday. And here's what I want to say about it. It's a crazy stat. Nolan Arenado, Cheese, is being paid $27 million this season. 5 by the Rockies, $17 million by the Cardinals, and $5 million by the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Wow.
That means that on Sunday, this past Sunday, the St. Louis Cardinals, in a game they led, we've talked about this game 3 or 4 times tonight, they led this game by 7 runs early and eventually lost it. They paid Nolan Arenado $98,765.43. You can't forget the 43 cents to hit the game-tying home run that led to their extra inning loss. We got that from the X account Corbin Carroll Enthusiast. You can get
Enthusiast.
Enthusiast. Thank you.
Yes.
You can get him at CORLEK and then CAMAS. That is his X handle. We follow each other. He's a great follow, by the way, especially if you're into Arizona Diamondback stuff. He has a lot of stuff up there. So Cheese, what do you think about that? He's being paid. First of all, should Nolan Arenado be making $27 million?
Well, when he signed the contract, I mean, it seemed like kind of a bargain at the time. I don't know. He's been better this year, but I mean, I don't know if anyone should make him 27 million. It's just funny that Diamondbacks. The thing is, Diamondbacks only paid him 5, so he's been one of the best bargains in baseball this year.
Yes, he's been durable. They signed 2 players like that. We still have Nolan Arenado. We being the Arizona Diamondbacks, I do root for that team. You have the other guy that they took a big chance on, Carlos Santana. They DFA'd him earlier in the season, and now he is with, I believe it's pronounced Gwinnett, right?
Oh, is he with Gwinnett? I didn't even know that. Yeah,
he
it's
is.
Braves AAA team. The Braves do this. They like to sign older veterans that are released by their teams late in case there's a major injury somewhere, so they have that person in place. But I didn't even know he's with Gwinnett.
Yes, he is. Okay. All right, buddy. So I thought that was interesting. They paid him to beat them yesterday, or Sunday.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Very much so. All right, buddy. I'm done with the notes. We're done with the show. Is there anything that the man they call Cheese wants to add to the end?
Yes. Did you see the new Avengers trailer? Excited?
No, I could care less. So.
No. Okay.
I'm sorry. I am not a comic book person.
You don't have to say sorry. I'm not a comic book person either, but I like movies. Okay. Yeah, see, Mike, he says this. He tries to remain calm. I'm the grumpy one, animated one, because if he gets angry, he turns into a big green monster.
That's it. I did watch a good movie over the weekend, though. I can plug this real good. It's called Mercy. Mercy. Yeah, we were able to get, you know this. I told you this off air. I'll tell everybody else. A lot of people that know me personally know. I got an infection in my foot, so I've been off work for a few days and basically been either bedridden or couch-ridden, which stinks. So I've had a little time to watch some stuff.
Oh, you liked Mercy?
I did.
Oh, man. Okay.
I'm telling you, it's a great movie.
Oh, God, it was terrible.
No, it was not.
Is this the one with Chris Pratt where he's in a chair the whole movie?
Yes.
Oh, my God, you liked that.
I love that movie.
Ooh, okay. Well, I disagree, but that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what.
I did not like that at all.
One of our fans, now hang on, our fans can watch it this week between now and next Tuesday, and then they can tell us if they like it or not. They will be the deciding factor. So I say yes, I really like that movie. You say no. We'll let our fans decide whether it's good or whether it's bad.
I really like Chris Pratt. He's my favorite actor, so I was so excited about it. Maybe that's why I didn't like it so much, because I just thought it'd be so much better than it was. But me and Sean we both did not like it at all. We went and saw it.
I like that movie a lot.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Trust me, I dislike most movies, so maybe it's me.
Grumpy about movies too. I'm shocked.
Oh, Hollywood's gone downhill. They don't make many good movies anymore.
Well, they don't make as many good movies as they used to. I'll give you that.
No, they do not.
All right. Let me do this real quick. I'll put this up on the stage here. Let me take this off. I did not do this earlier. We were talking about Forward Fan. There's the scan code you can use, and then you can use the code AGO10. You get 10% more off of your tickets when you go to forwardfan.com. And if you're paying, $600. My math tells me that's a nice little chunk off of $600, the 10%. So.
Bengals fans, go for it. Go for it. It's their year. Because Mike's going to – our football preview's coming up in about a month, maybe about 6 weeks. Our NFL preview, Mike's going to pick the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl. He is from the AFC.
Of course he is.
I am not.
Well,
Will I pick him to make the postseason? Tune in to find out.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, buddy. Hey, thank you very much. And then all of our fans, thank you for being with us, putting up with these two guys for the last a little over 2 hours. And hopefully we made it so your kids could put up with us too.
Minus one word I said.
Well, yeah, one's not bad. I'll give you one. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. And as we always say at this point in what we're doing, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone.